Hey fellas, well, I finally managed to see Hamilton thanks to its debut on Disney Plus. As this was a film version of the acclaimed play from one of its 2016 performances. As the release date you see here is when it first became a film. I say it when it first did because it wasn't intended to theatrically debut next year, but for fairly obvious reasons got put on Disney Plus. So if you have that, it's definitely another thing that's worth watching on there, and definitely a much more choice exclusive than Artemis Fowl was. And so this play is directed by Thomas Kail and stars Lin-Manuel Miranda in the title role. This musical fictionalized account of founding father Alexander Hamilton and is maybe a beefy 160 minutes, but it doesn't feel that way. Normally, a a musicals where everything is sunny one doesn't have to be often looked on with derision, but this isn't one of those cases. Quite the opposite, in fact. Its energy and use of modern musical stylings aims to tell a story a set centuries ago is why you can see one of its best aspects, and definitely it can helps tie into the tumult of the story. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Hmm. Yeah, and I must say, given the lavish production, and even though it takes place mainly on this on one stage, the period costumes and choreography, they are definitely fit the tradition of the mega musical. Oh, with this particular incarnation costing $75 million, and but unlike Artemis Fowl, it's definitely much more easy to justify this, given how it's definitely much easier to pay $8 a month for your Disney Plus subscription than it is to try and find a stage there showing us a reasonable price, especially or any theater of any kind that's open in the middle of this current scene. And that's why I've been getting used to wearing masks, but that's important right now. And it is totally mesmerizing where even with the intermission in the middle, I had to, in a good way, I had to pause my stream to catch my breath because it is definitely worth every bit much worth the hype, given how it's definitely the right time, and that's always a concept I've actually found quite insightful and fascinating, and to get perspective on issues being faced in the present, to look at how similar ones play out in the past. I mean, and this was like the ideal circumstances, and given how, in a way, hey, given how history has its eyes on you, oh, sometimes for critical moments, and it's definitely good to be part of it. Well, I just thought I'd get you something simple before I get you my big video for tomorrow. One I've been wanting to do for a while, and now that time's finally upon me, so later. Yeah, history has its eyes on you.